Hi everybody, Ed Edits here. Going to show you a trick that is very handy for when you're creating 3D videos, also 2D videos. Shouldn't say 3D, 360 videos. One of the things that's nice about doing something like that would be to have a fly-in to the location, and I'm talking about travel vlogs. Okay, often you want to show people where exactly you're at. So let's get to it. That is done here at Google Earth Studio. So it's earth.google.com.studio. Okay, so we've got Google Earth Studio running. We're going to do a blank project, quick start, and zoom to. Pretty straightforward. It's already selected. We're going to pick it. Okay, first thing, where are we going? All right, that in this case will be Canyon Lake, Arizona. And there it is. Okay, that's where we're heading towards. Now we do the next step, which is what is our starting altitude? So, in talking about the 2D and 360 being combined as one single file to make your life easier, that's where this kind of thing comes in. So uh, we're gonna do we're gonna do starting the altitude at 5,000 feet, which is a good one. That seems to work very well for both 2D and 3D. So we'll start that at about 5,000-ish, somewhere in there. You can play. And then we see our animation. Okay. That's not terribly interesting. So let's move on and we'll start our next parts. Okay, now that we've got our basics set up, the next thing to do is to set our project settings. So let's go to project settings under file. One of the things we want to do is render this at the highest possible resolution. So let's do 4096 because that's as high as it goes. Now, another thing that's very convenient is to another thing that's very convenient to do is to set the frames per second to 60, and at which time you need to double the amount of frames because you're doing 60 instead of 30, and it makes for a much smoother animation. Also, don't forget to scale your existing keyframes to the new duration. Okay, boom, we do that. Now notice we're 300 frames. The animation is a little bit smoother, takes a little bit longer. Okay, alrighty. What I like to do is I like to have the first second, which would be 60 frames, holding, as well as the last. But by default, it gives you the last frames. So that's great. But we need to do the beginning frames. So let's go back to there, pick our, the one that's going to change will be the height. So I'm going to pick that. I'm going to edit and copy that keyframe. Go to frame 60, paste that keyframe. Okay, now paste them all. Very strange behavior. But now look, it won't move. Okay, so we're almost there. What's missing for me and for a lot of people would be some reference points. So I'm going to put in Los Angeles and Phoenix, and then the name of this Canyon Lake. So how do we do that? There is a file format out there called KML. KML. This is a KML file that I've created prior, and you can find that in the links down below. So take a copy. But at any rate, you just basically just copy these blocks out. So I am going to leave Los Angeles alone. I am going to leave Phoenix alone. Okay. I was doing the Lost Dutchman Museum, but now we're doing Canyon Lake. Canyon Lake. Okay. And the points, we don't want to pin. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of the pin. Why? Because we've already got one. This pin right here. And here we're going to put Canyon Lake for our place mark name. Canyon Lake. Now here's the trick. We need the coordinates to be Canyon Lake, not something the old one was. So how do we get that? Thankfully, it's right here. 111, 437, and 33, 542. So let's do it. 437, and then 33, 542. 542. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to save this file. That's my Phoenix Canyon Lake KML file. And then under overlays, we import this file. So I'm going to bring in that file, Phoenix LA, bring it in, okay? And there we go. Now, what I can do is show you the animation. And here we go. Nice, smooth animation right in a canyon lake. Okay, that's how we do it. And now, the last part of this, the last piece of the puzzle is to get this rendered to an MP4 file. And remember, MP4 can also be VR, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we go up here to render, we double check our frames, we check our resolution, we are VR, don't worry about all this other stuff, high quality texture, and 360. So we will hit submit. When we do that, Google will then email us when it's finished. Then we download it, incorporate it into our video. That's it for today. I hope you found this useful.